Hello, Renee Flamont here. You guys, this one is a little bit tricky, but there's a way to stop being supply. And I'll tell you what I went through and how I learned to turn the corner, because that's always what I want to give you guys, is the advice on how to break away if you so want to, and how to deal with it if you're not breaking away. I don't want any of us to be the supply that keeps on supplying, because even after you break up, say you finally had enough and you discarded your narcissist, or maybe they discarded you. Either way, there was a breakup, right? So now you think, oh, all right, I'm good. No. So much can happen after that to give them supply from you. At some point, cutting them off from you and not allowing them to gain anything from you is the absolute choice. We talked a little bit about no contact a couple of weeks back. We had the whole week on it. You're still giving them something when you're in contact in some way. Now, you don't have to cut them off. I'm not telling you to do that. I never tell anybody to do anything. You may have intermittent communication or lingering visits with yours. But for me, I did that. It took me a while to realize this. But once I caught on, no way. I wanted zero connection or communication with him ever. I saw him, once I caught on, as a gross person. Gross. Like, look at your narcissist. Look at what they do to you. Think of it and look at them. Don't say anything. Just look at them. They're gross. I think it's gross behavior. Well, I'm not trying to hang out with gross people. I'm not trying to hang out with gross people. Period. I slummed it for a while with him and a couple of other people, and then I was done. Now, it wasn't overnight. I went through a lot to get over it. But I didn't feel, once I caught on, I did not feel I had even one more ounce to give to this person. Not an ounce, nor did I want to. Once you catch on and really see that truth, it's impossible to unsee. And we've talked about that recently. I wasn't going to continue supplying him with anything. No calls, nothing. Please go away and stay away. And I went through things to make sure that he did that. I blocked all that stuff. But you guys know that I also went through the entire spectrum that is no contact, as you may be going through right now. It is a process. It can take a minute. But it wasn't until I made the decision to no longer be supplied to him that I got serious and stopped the relationship for good. And if you wonder why yours is lingering, I want you to look at then what things are lingering. Are you continuing to answer calls? That's supply. Are you continuing to have the coffee, have the lunch monthly, argue with them, fight with them, stay on the phone, answer a late night call? That is all supply to them. Once I realized I was indeed nothing but supply, I know that stings if you're still in it. And I'm really, really sorry for that. I want to take a moment. I'm so sorry if that breaks your heart. I'm really, really sorry. But we are indeed nothing but supply to them. Once I realized I was indeed nothing but supply, I cringed at the thought of being anywhere near him. My skin crawled. I cringed at myself for having allowed so many chances for him to inflict harm. But I ultimately knew, no way, wrong girl. And boom, I was no longer supply he could call upon. I stated it very plainly. No, you are not welcome in this home. Do not drive to Orlando. And he didn't. Do not call. I ended it. And this goes for any narcissist, okay? I made a lot recently on bullying because I had a hot button happen, and I talked a lot about me having my own bully and such. This goes for them too, okay? I was supply to that person when they would bestow torture on me and they knew that it bothered me, and I would try to talk to them and I would cry and I would get upset and I would try to work it out. That's all supply. That's feeding them. Ooh, I got to her. Now, that person doesn't affect me at all. Whatever they say doesn't matter. I'm not being their supply anymore. I have learned that my self-respect will no longer allow me to be put in front of someone who mistreats me. I will not be supply to someone dysfunctional. I will not be the catch-all for their bad day. I will not be the sounding board for them because they're angry. I will not be a punching bag. God forbid, because some people are physically a punching bag. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? God bless them. God help them. And I hope they get away. Once you decide you no longer want to be supplied to someone, that's when it stops. That's when you realize, oh, I see. So no contact means everything. It wasn't just, we're not going to talk on the phone, but okay, if you come in town in a few months, that sounds fine. We'll have lunch. Are you out of your mind? No. I don't mean you. I mean him. Are you out of your mind? No. Don't be the supply who keeps on supplying. I marvel at the chances I gave the bully, at the chances I gave him, who I told you, narcissists and bullies are the same lane of kind of person in my book. They're the same exact. You could replace the word. That's what they're doing. Only it's worse. Because they're taking someone who does want a relationship with them, who is good to them, who does love them. You've shown them loyalty. You've shown them so much patience, everything, dealing with what they give you, and they still mistreat you. Yeah, because that's who they are. And afterwards, once you break up, you are still giving them supply. If you are entertaining their voice, their company in any way at all, even on social media, you like something they did or you peek in on them. And I had a young friend try to explain to me, oh, they can see if you do this, but they can tell if you look at that gives them supply. So whatever those things are in social media, pay those rules proper mind and figure it out. You don't even want them knowing you looked them up. I don't even want you to look them up. You don't even want them knowing you did. So I don't know those rules. And again, I can't find anyone I've dated on social media. They were never on it, so I would never try. That wasn't in my life. But I know that's a huge thing with young people. There's always social media and ways to spy. A friend of a friend, a fake account. I've heard all kinds of things. I don't want you to keep supplying them supply. I want their supply to dry out. I want them without supply. I want them to have no supply. And as they age, that happens. Why? Then they end up having less and less supply. Think about it. Say your narcissist is gorgeous, okay? Which, if you look at my narcissist and he doesn't speak, for example, I'd say he might be considered a handsome man, maybe for his age. I think he's a little cheesy looking, over-tanned, all these different choices he makes about how he wears his hair and jewelry and But I think as an objective, okay, maybe. But then you think, he's so ugly inside. There's nothing redeeming about that person. I forgot my point I was making. But I don't want you being supply to them and have them thinking, because just because your narcissist or person might be handsome or pretty, if it's a girl, that doesn't mean I want you to fold. It doesn't mean I want you to be weak. That doesn't mean I want you to mistaken them for a minute as having any goodness. They might just be someone that might be good looking. And that might be all they have. So as they get older, that's going to fade. That's why it gets harder as they get older. It's going to be harder for them to ensnare people based on their looks or even their charm. As they get older, if someone's trying to come on to you and they're a little too old, now it's suddenly getting creepy. All these things happen to the narcissist, and many of them end up alone without even their family around them because they've alienated everybody along the way. They have alienated everybody along the way. I don't want you being supply for your narcissist well into their relationship with a new person. Middle of the night, 12 o'clock, the phone rings. Hi. Oh, and they're in a fight with their new girlfriend, but they're keeping you on the phone under the guise of, I miss you. What are you doing? I was just thinking of you. Do you have a minute to chat? And they try to be charming and funny and all of this. And you're laughing and you're giving them supply by laughing. That gives them supply. Oh, but he was so nice and funny last night. He was telling he needed supply, and you gave it to him. I don't want us giving them anything. I want them all depleted of all supply. That would be my goal, because then I would know that's that many more people that are safe from this and not becoming ensnared. Please give it a thought and watch what you're doing with your narcissist. Are you still supplying them with anything? Anything you do is supply to them. Just like a little kid, they say little children who don't get attention, they'll act bad to get negative attention. Your narcissist gets supply from the negative also that you feed them. Yes, they end up finding somebody else because they want easy, but then they find somebody else on the easy person too. And they'll chase that new supply, won't they? And beg them to be with them. And boom, then they're going to do the same thing to that person. Please don't be the supply who keeps on supplying. And once you free yourself of that, it feels so good, you guys. Have a good weekend. I appreciate you watching all week. Please go ahead and hit sub, like, and share. And I will see you Monday.